All right, everyone, welcome back into another Fantasy Golf video. Going to be breaking down the Rocket Classic. We are going to be starting out the video with talking about some ownership for PGA DFS purposes, and we're going to go ahead and get into more of my favorite bets for like PrizePicks and Underdog, but then also just outright bets and then first round leader bets as well. So with that, let's go ahead and get into this video. So I want to start with actually showing the most over-owned golfers. The interesting thing about PGA DFS this season is that we've had some weeks where it's been very big ownership leverage weeks, whether that be not playing golfers that are over-owned, and then also maybe just targeting golfers that are undervalued. Go back to like the start of the season, Justin Thomas was highly over-owned, and I think it was the first event. We haven't had as many as we typically would. I think the industry has gotten a little bit better with not taking the cake, if you will, for lack of a better term. And so like not every single week am I always suggesting that we need to make any drastic decisions based off of ownership. And it's not even that we have that necessary this week as well, but I do think it's worth calling out like Cameron Young. He is coming in as a golfer that is over-owned. Now, yesterday when I did the 9 to 5 write-up, he was coming in as a player that we should be fading based off of how high owned he was. He was like 22%, I think. But right now he's at 20.42, right? And just at that ownership, he is someone that is coming in overvalued. He's a player that it's pretty easy to be underweight on there. So I know I've talked about this a bunch, and this is a week where, again, I do think it could make sense to buy into the Cameron Young bit that everyone has been on in the fantasy golf betting community. But that is what is driving up his ownership. It's kind of that bit. Okay, it's a fun bit. Again, looking at his course history, you love his course history, and you do like the fact that his overall form has been pretty darn solid. What you don't like is that he's not a good specialist and he's not a good stat fit for this course. So that being said, part of the reason as to why he's coming in overvalued in this 9 to 5 tool is where he's priced, right? Okay, we look at Cameron Young coming in at 20% owned. That's clearly a little bit too high. He has to finish top 5 to pay off that ownership. Okay, so we look at some other players that are priced around him. Harry Hall coming in 5% less owned. Okay, basically the exact same plays on paper, although Cameron Young does have better course history, so I can see why people are defaulting to that. We look at Siwoo Kim. Siwoo Kim on paper is the best play, and he's coming in, or better play compared to Cameron Young. The issue with Siwoo Kim is obviously he withdrew from his last event. How is he going to be at this event? Is he banged up or not? Based off what I've seen on social media, he is not, but that's also like, can't really take that too far into consideration. But that's why it's lower owned. So I can buy into that. Okay, but half the ownership is interesting there. It's no surprise that Siwoo Kim is coming in as the best leverage play. But then we look at Max Grayson. Max Grayson's a golfer that's like casually checking all the boxes, not a player that you're going crazy with, and maybe people are chasing a little bit more upside with Cameron Young, but he's coming in at 12%. But the whole point here is because, and one more example, well, never mind, because Cameron Young is coming in so much higher owned than all the players, it's no doubt that he is going to be the player that's the most over-owned in this range, and just in general in terms of players that are over 10%. Okay, so it is easier to be underweight on him and then just be overweight on the rest of the players. Keegan Bradley, Siwoo Kim, Ryan Gerard, Max Grayson, Alex Small is an interesting click as well. I'm a little bit surprised at his lack of ownership. But again, like I'd rather be overweight on these golfers and then be underweight on Cameron Young. I think that's the route to go. And so like if we are using the 9 to 5 custom model here, guys. So let's just reset the attributes here. And we're just going to put in the model rank. And so that's going to be the only thing that I'm going to run this off of. But I'm also going to raise up the min made cut percent to, we'll do 57%. Okay, we're just going to click run. And that's something I added in and adjusted to the lineup builder there, guys. Is what you'll see here is when you click run, it's going to default you to drop down into the generated lineups. Then we can sort by, make cut 6%, total ownership, projected points, whatever. If you want to run out a chalky build, you guys can do that. Make cut percent if you want to do that. But then we can scroll down here. And this is a part of the tool that I just added in there as well. Kind of excited for it. So let's say we don't want to be on Cameron Young that much. He's already coming in at 15%. We can just max him at 15%. As you guys can see, I already did that here. So 15% max exposure to Cameron Young. I'm okay with that. And I think that's the way to go. And then naturally, we're going to get to all those other golfers just a little bit more. And then let's just go ahead and get into the outright bets, guys. I do think it's pretty straightforward. We just go ahead and bet on these good outright bets that we are getting. So just to recap, we got 5 good outright bets: Patrick Cantlay, Keegan Bradley, Colin Morikawa, and then Ben Griffin and Siwoo Kim. Obviously, you want to be chasing the best odds for those golfers. So let's just take a peek real quick at all of them. We can get Patrick Cantlay at 14-1 odds on average, 16-1 on FanDuel or DraftKings. So obviously place those bets there. Keegan Bradley we have as well, 17-1 odds on average which don't necessarily love those odds. And typically speaking, it's not likely for a golfer to win in back-to-back events, right? It was an emotional high for him. It's just tougher to be into it mentally as much as you were in the previous week. You can get him at 18 to 1 on DraftKings. If you didn't want to get to Keegan, I understand. Colin Morikawa as well. Colin Morikawa just switched his caddy. Whether or not you think that that's a good thing or a bad thing for you is up to you. For me, I'm kind of indifferent about it. Obviously, it's the golfer that's hitting the shot. So if you like Colin Morikawa prior to that, you're probably still going to like him as well this week. And who knows? We don't know. Maybe there was a little bit of a confidence thing in there with the caddy chemistry that was going on recently. We have noticed that Colin Morikawa has had, kind of some lackluster starts recently, although at the start of the season was playing extremely well. I don't know. Maybe there is something there, and maybe he just needed a vibe change, right? But you can get him at 12 to 1. He is the favorite to win. And then we have Ben Griffin there as well. Ben Griffin, I would say the best golfer in the field this week. The data says he's the fourth best. 22 to 1 odds. Okay, so I do like that there as well for him. He's my first click this week is going to be Ben Griffin, guys, at 22 to 1. And then I do think it's worth calling out Siwoo Kim. I do think he's almost a better outright bet than he is DFS play. Outright wise, if he's hurt still and not playing well, you wasted an outright bet. But for DFS, where that ruins your whole lineup if you're playing him, ruins the other 5 golfers that you have in your lineup, it's a little bit more risky. But you can get him at 33 to 1 on some sites, 35 to 1 on BetMGM. That's a pretty good bet. Now from there, I actually don't mind the outright market without. Okay, so some of the players that I'm on in that regard is Harry Hall, Keith Mitchell, Alex Smalley. They're all 3 really good plays on paper, okay? But they're all somewhat risky. The only reason I like them with the without market is I think we actually probably have a good chance of hitting 2 that way then. The without market is Patrick Cantlay, Keegan, Colin Morikawa, and Ben Griffin. Those 4. And again, I think those 4 are likely to be competing for the win. If you want to chase, longer odds, they'd be shorter now, obviously, if you do the without market. But I don't mind these 3. I think these 3, kind of check some boxes that we'd want to be looking at outright wise as well. And if we look at it, they all do have the tag of long shot bet only or possible outright bets as well. So it's not like they're too far off of being considered good outright bets on paper as well. And then real quickly, guys, let's go ahead and take a peek at some first round leader bets that we can potentially be on as well. So what I like is I think this is going to be a good week to attack the early tee times. I think there could be a slight advantage there, especially because on Thursday, the wind is expected to pick up a little bit, not much, but maybe that does lead to the greens drying out a little bit. There is some rain in the forecast where it could end up making the conditions play a little bit soft. But with that, I like Keegan Bradley at 35 to 1. That's the starting point, obviously. Then Colin Morikawa at 33 to 1 on FanDuel. Basically, all first round leader bets should be on FanDuel. You got Patrick Cantlay there as well. And then we're taking a little bit of a further dive into some players. So Alex Smalley, 70 to 1. Ricky Fowler, 65 to 1. And then Victor Perez, 90 to 1 are pretty good odds there, especially if you are chasing the first round lead bets only. Okay, so guys, that would be the approach that we go with for first round leader bets. Now let's go ahead real quick and talk about some 3-ball bets. We are actually getting some pretty good spots for 3-ball bets. It is worth calling out. This first one is basically saying don't bet on Evan Brown to win. So if you we got Svensson or Steven Fisk, you guys can decide maybe which one you want to be on. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go with some positive edge bets that we were getting. And so we got Kanaya, we got Fisk, Alex Smalley, and I want bets that are over 40% likely to still win as well. So these 4 that I've highlighted are the ones I would be going out of my way to target. And then also Saladina, I don't mind. Noah Goodwin as well. And then we're probably good. So those bets that I've highlighted here, guys, Steven Fisk, Kanaya, Alex Smalley, Taylor Dickinson, Saladina, and then Noah Goodwin as well. For what it's worth, I mean, Taylor Dickinson and Noah Goodwin are 2 players that I'm interested to see how they look maybe in the fall in some of those events, because there are some players that keep casually catching my eye, whether it be for showdown or model purposes. And it's interesting that they keep popping up slightly. It's not like they're great plays this week. I'm not saying play them this week, but it is one of those things where it's like, all right, maybe they're finding some form by looking at it that way. And then we're going to go ahead and get into some PGA prop bets. So I'm showing you guys the 9to5 optimizer here. It's a great tool. It's available for 9to5 members, including the $10 a month membership. Worth calling that out. But one of the better bets that we have this week for round 1 is going to be Brent Snedeker to get over 4 birdies or better. This is an interesting one because the chances of him just getting to 4 birdies is pretty strong, I would say, even if it's Brent Snedeker. We know Brent Snedeker at this stage of his career is not an elite golfer by any means, but this is a course where there are scoring opportunities out there. Birdie or better percentage is one of the key stats this week because you need to be scoring on this track. And so, yes, there's going to be lots of scoring opportunities. I think there's a good chance that he gets to 4 birdies. That being said, we have some other interesting prop bets where we got Patrick Cantlay and Collin Morikawa for under their birdies or better. Okay, so Patrick Cantlay under 5.5, and then Collin Morikawa as well. I do think it's going to be tough to get to 6 birdies or better. Okay, so that's the interesting part about this week. So if you guys wanted to place these bets, what you could do is star these 3 potentially. If you guys like those, then you can jump down to the bet slips, and you guys will see the EV or the edge that we are gaining or losing by placing the bets there. As you can see, with all those bets not being considered like really good bets, like we'll pop this down, like they're all under, well, Brent Snedeker's over 55% likely, but the other 2 are under 54% likely to hit, which is kind of the magic number to be successful. But if you guys like this bet, you could click on the bet slip link button here, and then that will automatically pull it up on your PrizePicks dashboard. Now, I do think it's worth calling out. My favorite bet for the week is looking at Ben Griffin for round 1, I should say, is going to be Ben Griffin to get under 69 for his strokes on PrizePicks. I'm not really sure why this line is there, to be honest with you. It's weird. One, it's a prop line difference, right? And again, whether you consider him the best golfer in the field or not, that's really up to you guys. But I do think it's worth calling out that you look at some of the other players that we're getting that you might consider that. We got Collin Morikawa at 68, okay? Keegan at 68.5, and then Patrick Cantlay at 68. Now, maybe it's due to tee time, could see that, but regardless, he should be at 68.5 as well. So for PrizePicks purposes, I actually like that one the best to pair with like Brent Snedeker, if you guys like that one, or the Patrick Cantlay under 5.5 birdies or better. You could go that route there as well. I think that's a very good bet there. It's probably has a chance to be a push, so I don't know if I necessarily want to place it with Snedeker. 2 bets that could end up just being pushes, and that's just not worthwhile. But I thought that was worth calling out. Now, guys, that's going to do it for this video. Make sure to give a like and subscribe to the channel. If you guys would like access to any of the 9 to 5 fantasy golf tools and prop tools, head on over to 9to5sports.com. Get access to all the tools on the website for a low monthly cost of $10 a month. Guys, take advantage of that. I am working on a new tool, which is going to be the betting tool. Just updating that sheet. I'm just consistently working on updating the tools available on the website to make them more mobile friendly for you guys. I'm going to hopefully work on finishing the 9 to 5 custom model tool that I showed you guys in this video. It is still in beta technically. I'm always working on making it a little bit more user friendly as well, but we're calling that out. Thanks for watching, guys. Good luck. And as always, let's keep cashing.